Yeah, one of the things I love about getting this group together is we all do a similar thing, but the reason I think all of the people here are successful is, as it was alluded to before, talked about a little before, is we've sort of figured out how to do it authentically or within our personality or what works. You know, we're all slightly different socially. We have slightly different approaches. You know, something that we've talked about before. People ask, when and how should you specialize in this industry? And we started talking at the beginning of this conversation how overlapping a lot of the roles are, but ultimately figuring out what you like to do for your own mental health and well-being so you love the process is how you will be successful. And it doesn't mean that the first 2, 3, 5, 10 years isn't grinding it out under somebody else's process, but ultimately to sustain in a career to do this thing, you have to figure out what works for you. And what's worked for me, I know that, I'd like to think, I know that if I just became a mixer on a skill set level, I could do it, but I would go insane because I don't have that sort of routine focus, go deep, like Jon talks about the way you talk about food, or the way you talk about, Teezio, you talk about your process of like, I do this and then I do this and then, like, I would do that for a few days and then be like, I want to go make some synth sounds. I want to hang out with an artist and talk about how hard it is to be alive. Like, I want to do that for 3 days and then write some songs about it. And then I get tired of that and then I want to go fix puzzles sonically. And it took me a long time to realize, oh, that's just what my personality is. Right. And so that's why I am a mixer. I've done A&R, I'm a writer, producer. I've just done bits of everything. You know, you hit me up, I'll play guitar on a record. Like, I'll just kind of get involved. But a lot of people need to figure out what it is that makes them really happy doing this thing, because ultimately the people that are the best at this are the people that love the process. And for a lot of people, it's hard to figure out early on, but you got to get there at some point.
I don't know anybody that makes great records that hates doing it. I've never met anybody that begrudgingly goes to the studio to make a hit record.
Louis Bell's like, fuck this.
I don't know. I've never met that person.
It's
I was just to say, we're not curing cancer or doing anything crazy like that. Might as well just have fun doing it.
Yeah, a lot of people
But hold
overthink
on.
this process.
See, I used to say that, and then I read a quote by Bjork in,
We
in
are
a
curing?
book that
Bjork
I have.
is curing cancer?
No. She had a very specific version of, but the person that has cancer is listening to my music to get through painful times, right? And that I got over that like 5 years ago, half a decade ago, which is like, well, we might not be curing disease. And just on a quick side note, the things that I listen to during my breaks and outside of music are the people that are trying to cure, you know, long-term illness. So I care a lot about the curing of disease. It's where my mental energy goes, because I want to live long and healthy.
I want to live forever too.
But I know that what we're working on, what we're a part of, is curing pain for people that might be through that. And I think that's something to really consider when you think you're not doing anything meaningful.
Yeah.
I think we're part of meaningful things. I don't necessarily think our job might be the most meaningful, but we're part of something.
And the result, the conclusion
Yeah.
is the same, which is, if you're trying to provide joy through what you do, being joyful in the process is how you do it.
Yeah.
And by the way, a lot of us, I mean, we all live very abnormal lives. We've talked about on the lives at various points, like, we've sacrificed years of our lives where normal people would have had their late teens, early 20s, late into their 20s, maybe some into their 30s, like doing normal things, having family, having a 9 to 5, having normal relationships.
Partying.
Like, and just
You know what I mean?
you know, living that life. And we have sacrificed a lot of that so that we, you know, probably not consciously, it's just that drive that for us hasn't gone away, but so that we have the opportunity to be the age that we are, be in the position we are, drink wine with our friends, have Jon cook us food, and make records all the time. We are in the position where we should be trying to have that joy and make the best thing we can.
Yeah.
That's our role in society. I mean, get too grand about it, but it's exactly that. It's like, if we're going to be a part of the process of making the art that, you know, the 12-year-old version of me is going to love, that's 12 years old today, you got to love that. It's the only way you make the great stuff.
Yeah.
It's so cool because, like,
Gotta love it.
just down my eyesight right here, there's like two guys. Everybody here have made absolute tens of records, and you guys all approach it so differently. And it's so just like hearing your process and how you like love having someone there, and you're like, I don't want anybody there. And there's parts of it that I vibe with on both ends. It's just awesome to hear how you guys all get to such great results so differently, you know, and it's really inspiring on this end.
Thanks for watching. Just a reminder, all of this content is free. There's no secret knowledge here. There's no Patreon. We don't read ads. We don't have sponsors. We're just trying to build a knowledge base. All that we ask in return is that you share it with somebody. Thanks so much.